to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship. Remember last time we saw this whole controversy in the last days is about worship. Those who would not worship the image of the beast would be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. And we studied that in great depth. So if you missed that series, go back to deadlymyths.com. Look at sessions 5, 6, 7, and 8. It talks about no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And remember, this is all going to look Christian. When we did 7 Deadly Myths in Christianity, that was the whole idea and point, to unmask the deceptions of Satan, where he is infiltrating into religious communities who otherwise sound like we're on to something so godly, so pious, so good. We're going to enforce worship, and so that everybody will be doing the right thing. And you can hear almost the PR rollout of that. Well, this beast, of course, we know is the papacy, and the United States, we just read, is going to be enforcing the edicts of the papacy. And what is this mark again? The mark of the beast, the seal of God. We studied that. The seal of God is placed in the forehead. The mark of the beast either just is going through the actions or true believers in papal authority. C.F. Thomas, a Catholic authority, said last time, of course, the Catholic Church claims that the change of the Sabbath was her act, and the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical power and authority in religious matters. You couldn't say it any more clearly than that. So this prophecy is pointing to a more incredible future than even the most talented fiction writers could ever dream up. But it's real, and it's coming soon. We just read, the powers that be in the United States will become enforcement arms for papal Sunday observance edicts, with the change to Sunday being the beast's own mark of authority, that we can think to change the times and laws of God. Outlawing religious freedom, enforcing a counterfeit religious practice. Now that sounds shocking, especially if that's the first time you've ever heard that. I really implore you to go back through, because this is like very heavy stuff, but there's a lot of precedent biblically that brought us to this point. And this is nothing new in history. The idea that kings or governments would exercise the authority of the religious authority of Rome, I mean, that's what happened for 1,260 years. But is it possible that America, a place that was founded as a Protestant land of freedom of religion for all, with the Protestant principles and a republic, that we would end up in a place of oppression and submitting to the authority of the Pope of Rome? Well, that's not only possible, it's certain. The Bible says it, and I know that it sounds hard to believe, but it's a whole lot less hard to believe now than it was 100 years ago. I'll tell you something. When people were preaching this 100 years ago, they sounded crazy, right? And how much closer are we to that now than we were 100 years ago? So we're going to see the former United States of America, if you will, drifting away from the Constitution, drifting away from God, imposing the most tyrannical measures in history. This is beyond lockdowns and forced church closures. This is beyond what they're doing to children. This is beyond deeming certain workers non-essential and declaring no buying and selling with certain businesses in that way. This is even beyond mandated medical interventions. This is going to the apex of the devil's plan of tyranny in the last days. And all of these other things that we've seen in the last years is a dress rehearsal for what's to come. You amp up the persecution in all sorts of different ways. You demonize a group as the other throughout history, whether that's demonizing people and doing witch hunts, or people because of the color of their skin, or the Jews are the scapegoat for all our problems. You demonize a group as the other. Well, who's going to be the group in the last days? Those who stay faithful and true to the commandments of God. We'll be told, you're not allowed to buy or sell. In fact, there's a death decree coming your way. Well, there are demonized groups, whether it's these types based on race and religion or medical status. You set the precedent with those types of things. You create the architecture for the future oppression. And then you just cut and paste that group with Sabbath keepers, commandment keepers. And so it's all being readied and prepared even in the years that have preceded us.